On June 25, 2005, George Smith IV married Jennifer Hagel in a cliffside ceremony in Newport, Rhode Island. The couple were on their honeymoon, a 2-week trip on a Mediterranean cruise, stopping in Greece, Turkey, and Italy, among other locations. George was very close to his family. His father, George Smith III, his mother Maureen, and his sister Bree. George was slated to take over his father's liquor store in Greenwich. George and Jennifer met 20-year-old Josh Askin and his family on a tour of Florence, Italy. The Askins were on the cruise as well. On July 4th, 2005, George and Jennifer Smith spent the day touring Mykonos, Greece. George's family says Greece was one of his favorite places. That night, the couple had dinner aboard the ship and toasted their future together, according to Jennifer. Around midnight on July 5th, the couple headed to the casino on the 3rd floor. Casino security cameras captured Jennifer in the casino that night. The security cameras also captured George at the casino. This is the last known image of George from that night. At 7:30 a.m. on July 5th, passengers awoke to a huge blood stain on the metal canopy. George Smith had gone overboard in the waters between Greece and Turkey. Jennifer Smith said she had very little memory after leaving the casino the night prior. She had been found passed out in a hallway around 4:30 a.m., the time George is thought to have gone overboard. Turkish police boarded the ship and interviewed the last known men to see George alive, Josh Askin, and 3 Russian-American men, Rusty Kaufman, Greg Rosenberg, and Zach Rosenberg. They said they had partied with George into the early morning hours. According to the young men, shortly after 4 a.m., they had brought George back to his cabin, and while Josh went to the bathroom, the other guys had taken off George's shoes and put a drunken George to bed. This is a photo of the Smith cabin showing one of George's shoes on the floor. The young men said that after putting George to bed, they had all left and then went back to one of their cabins and ordered a lot of room service. Rumors and theories surrounding George Smith's disappearance began almost immediately. Early on, the ship's captain described it as a likely accident. A balcony chair had been found with its back against the railing. This photo taken by Royal Caribbean shows the balcony after the Turkish forensic investigation. The Smith family has never believed the accident theory. They believe there was foul play and point out that an ear witness heard an argument on George's balcony and George's blood had been found in the cabin. 2 small lines of blood on the bed sheets. This photo was taken by the ship's safety officer upon entering the Smith cabin the early morning of July 5th, 2005. The room is messy but not thrashed. The FBI has been investigating George's disappearance for almost 8 years, but it has gone nowhere. Mike Jones, an attorney hired by the Smiths, is trying to move the case forward. In 2010, Mike Jones got his hands on Royal Caribbean's case file. Room service records do not show any order being delivered to the men last seen with GeorgeSmith that night. Mike Jones believes that their alibis don't hold up. Josh Askin's lawyer, Keith Greer, argues that it could have been an oversight in the handwritten documentation. Mike Jones took the depositions of the 4 young men last seen with GeorgeSmith. In 2010, he found Greg Rosenberg in a Florida prison serving a 3-year sentence for trafficking oxycodone. Greg Rosenberg told Jones he didn't have it in his heart to kill anyone. Mike Jones learned of a potentially damaging videotape made by some of these men just hours after George disappeared. On the tape, Jones says the 3 Russian Americans are seen and heard making callous remarks about George's death, and at the end, Greg Rosenberg says, "I told you I was gangsta," quote-unquote. The FBI is in possession of the provocative videotape, and the Smith family wonders why more has not been done. Lawyers for the young men say that their clients did nothing wrong. No one has ever been charged in connection with George Smith's disappearance. The Smith family hopes that one day the case will be solved and say they will never stop fighting for George. On July 5, 2020, will mark 15 years since George disappeared. The Smith family is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for their son going missing from his honeymoon cruise. Anyone with information is asked to call 1-844-651-1936 or email GeorgeSmithTipline@gmail.com.